नमस्कार, मैं हूँ ओशीन शर्मा और आप सभी का स्वागत है YouTube चैनल पे जिसका नाम है ओशीन्स कॉर्नर। ये चैनल जो है वो कम्प्लीटली डेडिकेटेड है उन HS एस्पिरेंट्स के लिए, उन अलाइड सर्विसेज एस्पिरेंट्स के लिए कि तैयारी को कैसे किया जाए, वो कौन से सोर्सेज होते हैं और वो कौन सी बुक लिस्ट है, मोटिवेशन फैक्टर क्या है, ये सभी जानने के लिए आज हमारे बीच हमारी गेस्ट है जो कि पिछले 1-1.5 साल से मेरी बहुत अच्छी फ्रेंड भी है, मेरी कलीग भी रही है लास्ट ईयर के बैच में, अर्शिया शर्मा।
थैंक यू।
अर्शिया, वेलकम टू दिस चैनल एंड आई एम सो ग्लैड कि तुमने ये समय निकाला। हमारा इतना हेक्टिक शेड्यूल है फिर भी, सबसे पहले तो आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी, हैप्पी टू हेल्प इन एनी वे व्हाटसोएवर।
सो अर्शिया, लेट्स बिगिन इट। अर्शिया, बताओ, हु इज अर्शिया शर्मा?
ओके, सो I belong to चिंतपूर्णी in district Una and almost मेरी सारी education शिमला से तारा हॉल से हुई है, like almost all my schooling and उसके बाद B.Tech की थी मैंने computer science engineering में JP यूनिवर्सिटी वाकना घाट से and 2017 में I passed out। 17 से I was preparing for the exam। 18 में फिर 18 वाला जो attempt था उसमें I cleared the prelim, mains and then the interview and फिर 19 में like I joined as an excise and taxation officer and फिर अब 1.5 year later I'm here।
So you have finally made into H.A.S. this time।
Finally।
So Arshiya, how did you begin your preparation and why did you begin it?
Why I began the preparation was because my father was already in the services, तो घर पे माहौल था वैसा कि starting से services की तरफ काफी inclination था family का, तो we were always told that like previous service है state की, तो and I had seen him work in the department, so and a lot of his friends I had seen them work in various other departments, तो मैंने बहुत like I had seen the inside of the administration and I was very amused by it। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता था administration की working and any way to be a part of it, so that is where the motivation started from। And coming to the strategy, 10th के बाद से I had lost all touch with any of these subjects जो HS में आते हैं, because computer science में there's nothing which can be used and plus 2 में भी like I had non-medical, तो basic sciences को छोड़ के there's not much that is used। So 2017 में when I passed out, then I started my preparation and फिर like throughout the year 2018 prelims तक like the cycle was going on, so that is how the preparation started।
So you have worked as an excise taxation officer for around
1.5 years।
1.5 years। So how was your journey?
This was my parent department, so I was very happy to be in it and there was a lot to learn, like basic वो जो tax and all which we study for our exams, there's so much more to it and वहाँ पे जाके you see the working, what GST that we talk so much about, goods and services, what are goods, क्या आता है उसकी category में, what are services, what are the taxes on them, लोग कहाँ पे they find loopholes to evade taxes and how are you going to check all of that, so all of this comes under us। Then there's excise जिसमें लिकर का सारा कम्स, जो भी जितने भी वेंट्स होते हैं लिकर के वो उसके अंडर आते हैं, तो उसमें भी यू चेक द क्वालिटी, उसमें भी यू चेक ओवर प्राइसिंग, उसमें भी यू चेक like are the orders matching the number of bottles that they are showing, तो वो सब कुछ comes under the excise department।
So जब भी लोग एक्साइज का नाम सुनते हैं तो वो उनके दिमाग में डर आता है कि ये तो हमारा चालान कटेगा। So what's your take on that?
We have gone out for field checkings, हम जाते थे and of course कि अगर आप गाड़ी लेके जा रहे हो and उसमें goods like 70,000 के हैं and you do not have bills, तो obviously चालान एक्साइज वाले काटेंगे, but as long as you're doing things legally, of course we won't stop you for that। Like we'll check you, but अगर सारे documents वो है and most of the cars that used to cross उनके documents ठीक होते थे, so we would just let them go। But obviously अब कहीं कोई है जो who's trying to evade any form of taxation, तो yeah, we are the authority to check that।
So Arshiya, as you said that you had a background in computer sciences, so psychology तो बिल्कुल ही एक separate field है। So why did you choose psychology and वो क्या sources और क्या book list रहेगी जो हम अपने fellow HS aspirants को बता सकते हैं?
Firstly, computer science was not a subject in H.A.S. Computer Science Engineering was not a subject in H.A.S. So I could not really pursue अपना graduation वाला as an option. So I had to choose from the other subjects. उसमें से psychology, I personally was very interested in it. I had like guidance उसके लिए because dad ने भी अपने time पे psychology लिया था, तो वो उन्होंने मेरे को काफी अच्छे से guide कर दिया था about the books and everything. And personally, rather than other subjects, मेरे को बहुत abnormal psychology and all of that मेरे को बहुत interesting लगता था ये सब कुछ पढ़ना. So like I guess that also helps in getting you marks when you are actually really invested and interested in the subject. So that is how the choice of psychology happened. And then coming to the book list, paper 1 psychology का is pretty technical. उसमें it's basically all the concepts of psychology, and paper 2 is the application of those concepts. Paper 2 is applied psychology and paper 1 is proper technical psychology. So for paper 1, firstly NCERT's 11th 12th key of psychology first. Exactly, they give you a good base if you've never studied that subject before. For paper 1, which is the technical aspect, उसके लिए there is Baron and Misra. It is a great book from the Indian perspective because गिरीश्वर मिश्रा उन्होंने काफी Indian point of view से बहुत सारे examples वैसे दिए हुए हैं that we can relate to them and understand psychology better. Then there is Pragya Rashmi, that is also another book on psychology which covers पहला paper very exhaustively. And then there's Mukul Pathak sir ki notes. These were my 3 main things that I relied on when it came to psychology for paper 1. And then paper 2, which is applied psychology, which covers concepts like what is terrorism psychology. Like मेरे को ये बहुत interesting लगती थी चीजें कि how does someone get into that headspace, community psychology, all of that. So उसके point of view से there is just one book for paper 2 and that is Mark Twain. बहुत ज़्यादा hefty book नहीं है, बहुत छोटी सी book है and it covers everything that is there in paper 2. So I don't really think you need to go beyond that book to cover paper 2. So ये like all of these sources combined should be enough to complete like आपका सारा psychology का syllabus.
तो notes भी बनाए थे कोई special?
हाँ जी, notes as in जो मेरे को कुछ टॉपिक्स बाय चांस इन बुक्स में नहीं मिलते थे तो उनके लिए आई वुड यूज द इंटरनेट या वैसे वो करने के लिए. अदरवाइज आई डिड नॉट टेक कोचिंग फॉर साइकोलॉजी. सो एज सच मेरे पास कोचिंग वाले नोट्स नहीं थे. वही था दैट द वंस दैट आई यूज्ड टू मेक माय सेल्फ, वो मेरे पास नोट्स थे. एंड जो कुछ थोड़े बहुत टॉपिक टेस्टिंग एंड ऑल जो उतने अच्छे से कवर नहीं होता था, फॉर दैट आई यूज नोट्स.
So you mean जिस बच्चे का कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं है और उसे ऑप्शनल में वो सब्जेक्ट नहीं मिलता, so that person can safely choose psychology and still score good.
Yeah, psychology is a very decent scoring subject. Last time my preparation in psychology wasn't very good and still I managed like 122 marks. Which there are subjects like even if you give your best and बहुत अच्छा paper भी हुआ है तो you do not get that. इस बार my exam went better तो इस बार I scored 134. मतलब तो it went higher only like with the time and everything. तो psychology I feel is a safe subject. उसका syllabus भी काफी limited है. There are certain subjects इनका syllabus इतना ज़्यादा exhaustive होता है. It's very hard to complete it. And बाकी I feel like while choosing your optional your interest really matters. मेरा interest psychology में था तो पढ़ने में भी मजा आता था and that makes it easier to study that subject. You get excited to study that subject. So that was my overall goal for psychology.
And one more thing I would like to add that don't change your optional too much. जब तक आप एक या 2 मेंस नहीं लिख लेते अपने सब्जेक्ट के साथ आप लॉयल जरूर रहें.
True. Because first time when you give your exam you can't be sure about like how it's going to go. जब फर्स्ट टाइम आपने दिया तो आपको नहीं पता उनके मार्किंग पैटर्न्स एंड एवरीथिंग. तो अगर उस टाइम कम मार्क्स भी एटलीस्ट गिव इट अनदर शॉट. एक बार देख के लाइक अगर तो बड़ा ही कम स्कोर है तब यू माइट एज वेल कंसिडर लीविंग इट. अगर आपके बहुत ही कम मार्क्स आ रहे हैं तब यू माइट एज वेल. बट अगर आप 100 से ऊपर 110 से ऊपर स्कोर करें तो आई फील लाइक यू कैन गिव इट अनदर शॉट. Like otherwise बार चेंज करना एंड जीरो से कोई और सब्जेक्ट स्टार्ट करना इट गेट्स रियली हेक्टिक ओवरऑल आपके टाइम टेबल के लिए भी.
So Arshiya, as हम एक ट्रेंड देख रहे हैं कि बहुत सालों से फीमेल ऑफिसर्स आर कमिंग इनटू एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. सो व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन दैट?
I feel absolutely great about it and like one thing which like we have to mention female officers. It is always the case, like officers by default are considered ki acha it is going to be a man. If somebody says an officer is coming by default, so that is changing in especially in Himachal administrative services, because for the past couple of years बहुत सारी females are entering the services, which is a great motivation for young girls who might not have इतना ज़्यादा पहले कोई उनको बताने वाला नहीं था. पहले कोई there weren't a lot of people to look up to when we were children. As like as officers, as lady officers, we did not have a lot of women. But now that there are so many women in the administration, it is great कि लोगों को इतना वो है like for their future. Like there are so many little young girls who are looking up to all these officers and thinking that okay, we can also go there. So that's a great motivation to have.
So Arshiya, what is your final piece of advice for the students जो बिल्कुल अभी तैयारी शुरू कर रहे हैं उनके लिए, और उनके लिए भी especially mothers, because I have been receiving so many messages from the mothers that मैम हमारा छोटा सा बच्चा है and we want to make a space and identity for ourselves in the society. So इन दोनों age groups के लिए, categories के लिए, what is your message?
For the first timers, I would suggest एक तो अपना base बहुत strong रखना is very important. Be it NCRTs, अगर आपको don't buy बड़ी high standard books एकदम से पहले से when you are just starting your preparation, because you won't understand things. पहले अपना एक base बना लो and keep that base strong. Once you are done with that, उसके बाद you can escalate it to bigger books and वो. तो don't like copy everybody. अच्छा जिसने UPSC में टॉप किया उसने ये बुक पढ़ी थी. Study according to yourself. This is very important. सबका same pattern नहीं हो सकता. आप किसी और को देख रहे हो कि वो सुबह 4 बजे उठ के पढ़ रहे हैं. What if you're a night reader? What if आपकी रात को ज़्यादा productivity निकलती है? So make your habits and your like your entire plan according to yourself. वो सबका बहुत different होता है. तो like optional किसी topper का देख के ऐसे ही optional decide मत कर लो. अपना interest भी देखो, समझ भी आ रहा है वो subject. Are you like, तो this is my advice to people who are starting. And then for the mothers, of course it's like, of course it's tough because एक additional responsibility होती है of the family of your child. तो it's hard to take out time. But वही that अगर you have a young child, तो you'll have to like make up time कि when they're sleeping, उस point of view से like you'll have to find बीच में थोड़ा time. 5-6 hours a day is enough, but वो you will have to figure out how you travel करते हुए. अगर आप offices, the people who are working, वो travel करते हुए commute पे like just put in earphones and YouTube पे there is so much of material. There is so much of guidance, history, geography, कोई भी topic you want to study, you can just तो बस वो earphones लगा के you can save those 30 minutes instead of looking outside the window, बाहर देख के time waste करना. Use that time wherever you get time. अब आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते कि when you're a mother कि मैं तो 2 बजे से 8 बजे तक पढ़ूं, because of course that अब आप you cannot isolate yourself, so you'll have to find बीच में
time management आपको अपने हिसाब से करना पड़ेगा
according to your profession, according to your like life, according to your family. You will have to balance that. You'll have to figure out a way to do
That's
it.
nice. At the end, I would just like to ask you, Arshiya, that last time you came here as excise taxation officer, and this time you have finally made into H.A.S probationer. So, are you enjoying here?
Oh, absolutely. Last time वो थोड़ा stress था कि फिर से I have to give the exam because the goal was different. I was happy that I was here, but this time it's very different. This time it's very relaxing and I can take part in all the activities and everything, so it feels great. And it should be like just the training at HIPAA itself should be one of the motivation for all the aspirants, because it is one of like a once in a lifetime experience. So jitna wo like this should also be one of the motivation. Just for this experience you should clear this exam to have these 2 months.
So definitely you should come to HIPAA, and I would like to thank Arshiya. Arshiya, thank you so much for coming today. We will continue this series next, and we would be meeting different toppers from this batch. So stay tuned and thank you so much.